And are you ready to start, Mohammed?
Yeah, let's do it. Hi, my name is Mohammed Nasrullah. I am the co-founder and the president of COVID-19 Wall of Memories. I want to welcome you all to the first anniversary of the launch of this important and critical project. It was exactly 1 year back on January 4th, 2021, that we launched this project. And who would have thought that by this time, in a year, our country had lost more than 800 people to this terrible disease. And who would have thought that we would be able to honor 10,000 of these fellow Americans on our virtual memorial. But thanks to our dedicated and hardworking volunteers, we have been able to honor 10,000 of these fellow Americans. It's sad that it represents only 1.2% of the total, but the good part is it has been providing a lot of families, a lot of friends of these folks who are honored on the wall, some comfort, some peace, and some closure. We've seen so many of them come to the wall and spend time there, leave messages, and communicate with us. So it has been very rewarding to some extent. So once again, I want to welcome you all to the first anniversary. Thank you. And Ruth is going to address our accomplishments and thank some of the partners. So Ruth, go ahead.
If one of you who's a co-host doesn't mind spotlighting me. We all learned that new skill today. I also cannot believe that it's been a year.
You're muted.
That we have 10,000 people honored on the wall. It's been more of a moving experience than I ever thought that it would be, and a lot of hard work, but the hard work has come with the assistance of a whole lot of volunteers. So there's a few people before we get started that I want to recognize, and I'm going to do it as quickly as I can. TQA is the firm that designed and developed this website from the ground up. And we thank them for their work, their fearless leader, Iqbal, and then Azrul, Alden, and Aisha. Thank you all so very much for your work. We really appreciate it. We are honored to be a community partner with an organization called Made to Save, and I just wanted to recognize them and tell you a little bit about them. Made to Save is a national COVID-19 vaccine equity campaign, and they're rooted in grassroots organizing. Is everyone muted, if you could, please? They serve as a centralized hub for a broad coalition of partners, including community-based organizations like us, public health organizations, and national grassroots organizations. By informing best practices for vaccine mobilization, engaging trusted messengers, and conducting vaccine outreach, they aim to build trust in the COVID-19 vaccines and increase access to the vaccines in communities of color. So, Made to Save, we're very honored to be working with them. Thank you very much for the work that you're doing. I'd like to recognize our board. My husband is the president. I'm the secretary of treasurer. Fazl Shamsi is our vice president, and Sam Alex is our board member at large. And then we have a whole bunch of volunteers that I want to recognize. Rosie, who is also volunteering as an assistant Zoom master this evening, is one of our great volunteers also. Cindy, Stefania, Chelsea, Mary Ellen, Heidi, Bert. I know some of you are here. Christine, Carissa, Trenton, Kevin, and then my writers who've been writing for both the news page on our website and our Medium site. Adina, Josie, Yesenia, and Melissa, who just started a series on pandemic motherhoods, and she has a toddler and a newborn. So look out for that. And with that, I'd like to just talk a little bit about some of the things that we've done over the past year, in addition to giving people the opportunity to honor their loved ones on the wall, and also to provide information about COVID through our website. In January, right after we started, we held 2 Read Their Names programs, which some people here participated in. And it's something that sounds so simple, but it was actually so moving. We just read off names for about 2 hours at a time. We read off names of people who had passed away from COVID, and it was really moving and really a great honor to participate in that. We participated in a podcast with University Baptist Church, which is a nearby church here, which was an enlightening experience. And we held in May another Read Their Names program. And then in June was the Vaccine Month of Action. And you will hear from Yesenia, our intern at the time, about the text banking program to encourage people to get vaccinated that she was part of. In July and August, we did a vaccination drive in the 5th Ward in collaboration with CHAMP, Bay Area Democratic Movement, and you'll hear about both of those organizations a little later, and the 5th Ward Islamic Center, and we thank all of them. And finally, we sent some care packages to ICU nurses who were working very hard during a time where there was a high population of COVID patients at Clear Lake Regional Medical Center. So with that, I will turn it back over to Mohammed.
Okay, thank you, Ruth. The next on the agenda is Council Member Latisha Plummer. She's here to talk about her participation and support of the COVID-19 Wall of Memories project and what her involvement has been, and also present to our organization a proclamation from the Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner. And Ruth is going to be introducing Council Member Plummer.
Yes, thank you. I was very orderly in turning it back to you before I introduce Council Member Plummer, who is a graduate. First, let me say she's been a great friend to our community, and I'm just so happy that she's now also serving the city as a city council member. She's a graduate of the prestigious historically Black Spelman College and of the Baylor College of Dentistry. And she followed in her father's footsteps and became a practicing dentist and small business owner. As a City of Houston's council member, she has worked on several initiatives. So just a few. During COVID-19, she successfully engaged top Houston chefs to feed seniors and food insecure families across Houston through her Feed the Need program, and has continued since. During the pandemic, she survived COVID-19, shared her experience, which she wrote about also for our website, and we're grateful for that. Her experience in treatment with the people of Houston through multiple interactive Facebook Live sessions. She introduced comprehensive policing reform as part of Houston's budget amendments and has since continued to be an advocate for criminal justice reform. In addition, she has worked extensively in the community to provide immediate assistance to underserved and vulnerable residents impacted by Winter Storm Uri last year. And let's hope that we don't have anything like that ever happen again. And with that, I give you Council Member Latisha Plummer.
Thank you so much, Ruth and Mohammed Nasrallah. Y'all have been such amazing friends. And I honestly, when we had the conversation, when I was talking about my story, having COVID, I really didn't realize what it would look like a year later. And, I was lucky. I was one of the lucky ones to survive. So the acknowledgement that COVID-19 Wall of Memories does for so many is crucial, not only for the families, but also just for the loved ones and their friends. And so I'm so grateful for both of you for being innovative enough and compassionate enough to put this together. And I want to, definitely acknowledge the volunteers. I know that it's hard work, but your love and compassion really is really affecting families and friends of ones that have been lost for years and decades to come. So thank you so much for doing this. It is definitely my honor to bring greetings from the mayor of the city of Houston, Mayor Sylvester Turner. We have a proclamation that I would love to read off to you. He, as you know, has COVID currently. And maybe I think hopefully he's okay now, but this is not over. And so the acknowledgement of getting vaccinated and making sure that we all support each other is very important. So with that being said, I would like to read the proclamation from the Mayor Sylvester Turner. COVID-19 Wall of Memories. On January 4th, 2021, Ruth and Muhammad Nasrullah launched a nonprofit organization, COVID-19 Wall of Memories, which maintains a website dedicated to honoring and remembering and memorializing victims of COVID-19 in the United States. Their mission is to memorialize and amplify the lives that had been lost while serving as a source of information about the disease, the epidemic, and it as a national impact. COVID-19 Wall of Memories features a poignant virtual memorial wall containing the victims' pictures and names. By clicking through each photo, the site visitor can view the stories. The goal of this site is for people to understand the full scope of COVID-19's impact on our country, both through victim stories and the website's news and informational pages. COVID-19 Wall of Memories has honored almost 10,000 of our fellow Americans on this particular wall. Through their heart-wrenching and emotional stories, this site has honored Americans from all states and territories, all ages, ethnicities, skin colors, nationalities on this wall. COVID-19 Wall of Memories also works to serve communities, having held 2 vaccination drives in the 5th Ward area, held online memorial programs, delivered care packages to ICU nurses locally. During the most recent surge, has held text banks and to encourage people to get vaccinated. On January 4th, 2022, COVID-19 Wall of Memories will be recognized for its great dedication to telling the account of COVID-19 in America, one story at a time. The City of Houston commends Ruth and Muhammad Nasrullah for their diligence and encourage all residents to take time, visit the COVID-19 Wall of Memories as we commemorate all the lives lost. Therefore, Sylvester Turner, Mayor of the City of Houston, hereby proclaim January 4th, 2022 as COVID-19 Wall of Memories Day. Thank you so much to all of you.
Thank you, Councilmember Plummer. This is really amazing. I mean, you and your office, Manita, help us, get this thing taken care of in such a short period of time. I want to, on behalf of the COVID-19 Wall of Memories organization, we want to thank you for helping us with this thing and serving the community with your heart.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And thank you for letting me be a part of this from conception. I'm so grateful for that.
Oh, no, we are grateful for everything that you do. We really appreciate it. So I don't know what to say.
Well,
Thank
then
you
one
so
day I will
much.
say this. I would love to have you when everything calms down. I would love to have all of you and maybe the board members come to City Hall and do proper acknowledgement, take some photos with our mayor. I think this is really important. And I think it also allows us to keep the word out and let people know that although this particular strain isn't as detrimental and life-threatening as others, it is still something that we need to be aware of and be conscious of. And so keeping the awareness out and educating is really crucial through this process. So thanks again for everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So next item on the agenda is, or at least was, our new board member, Sam Alex, but unfortunately, Sam, well, fortunately or unfortunately, Sam is involved with so many activities that he had a conflict today and could not make it. But fortunately for us, we have Kayla Alex, Sam's wife, and another local activist here who's gonna speak on behalf of Sam of their involvement with COVID-19 Wall of Memories. So Ruth is gonna be introducing Kayla Alex now.
Yes, I am. And unfortunately, Kayla, I cannot find your bio. So if you would do me the honor, please, of letting, what I can say about you and your husband is that you have been there since the beginning, just supporting us, doing volunteer work for us. You have just been amazing. And I don't think that we would be what we are without both of you guys. So with that, please.
Trying to get off mute. Good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor and a blessing to be here tonight and standing in on behalf of my husband, Sam Alex. He's wearing multiple hats right now, but I'm going to read to you something he and I co-wrote together, and I want to make sure I capture his words along with mine because it came from the heart. And so we just wanted to acknowledge both you, Ruth, and Mohammed for blessing not only us, but every family positively impacted by your thoughtfulness. If you were to describe agape love, look no further than Mohammed and Ruth. Thank you both, along with your team, for making such an amazing difference in the lives and legacy of those impacted by this pandemic. I just wanted to add one little note, not only that you gave a place for families to post their loved one's death, but you also gave them a platform to talk about their life. And not only was this project, the COVID Wall of Memories, such an impactful share of family lives and what their loved ones meant to them, but it also catapulted healthy discussions about COVID-19 and about getting vaccinated. And so COVID Wall of Memories wasn't so much about sharing lives, but also you gave us a place of hope. So thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you. You and Sam have, like Ruth said, have been supporters of this important project from way back from the launch time. And we know that we can count on both of you to continue that support. Thank you very much.
Yes.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
so
Thank you.
so the next segment of the program is talk from family members who have shared their loved one stories on the wall. I believe we have three family members of three different people who are honored on the wall, and Ruth is going to be introducing them, and then they will be speaking for I believe 2 minutes each. So Ruth, can you go ahead and introduce them, please?
Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, Rayannan, who honored her father on the wall, who passed away last year of COVID, couldn't make it. She had a last minute thing. So I told her that I would read just a little bit of what's on the wall regarding him. And his name was Dean Pryor Perkins, and he was from right here in Houston. He was a successful engineer who earned 12 patents over the course of his 30-plus year career. He was married to his high school sweetheart for 43 years. He had 2 children and 2 grandchildren who called him Papa. In his spare time, Dean loved camping, kayaking, woodworking, deep sea fishing, fly fishing, and of course, spending time with his grandbabies. Dean had a hilarious sense of humor and will be missed terribly. He is also survived by his 91-year-old father and his sister, who was his best friend. And I know also that Rhiannon misses him terribly. So thank you, Rhiannon, for sharing his life with us. We appreciate it. Next, we are going to have Trudy Nunez Montoya talk about her dad, and I will get out of the way. So Trudy, if you'd like to unmute and turn on your video.
Okay, thank you. Tonight, I would like to honor Rudy Nunez Sr., a strong, beautiful, godly husband, father, and grandfather. His life continues on through each of us. He's left behind. COVID has stolen from us and robbed us of ever seeing, touching, or smelling our daddy again. I believe this disease was purposely designed to lessen population, and our dad was a victim of this. His life was taken prematurely. Every day we suffer at the loss of him. Time will never heal our pain of his absence, except Jesus, who heals the brokenhearted. It is our duty to keep our father alive by carrying on what he taught and showed us, to live for what he most believed in. Our dad's life was not in vain, and neither was his death. We each owe it to our father and ourselves to be better than him, to never give up, to be stronger than him, to avoid his mistakes, and to pursue our dreams, and to allow God to move in our lives and use us more than he did in our dad's life, to make our daddy proud, and of course, to bring God glory. Rudy Nunez Sr., a remarkable man. We each treasure the time that we had with him. Thank you.
Thank you, Trudy. And next we will have Michael Tyler, who will be speaking to us about his dad, Eloise Tyler. And Michael, if you could unmute and open and turn on your video. There you are.
Everybody. Again, my name is Michael Tyler. My father, I'm a original citizen of St. Louis, Missouri, and now I'm living in Houston, Texas. My father was living in St. Louis. He passed away April the 12th, Easter Sunday of 2020. Now I'm an only child. And so for all intents and purposes, my father was my hero. He saw me through some serious surgeries, and he always told me that he did not want to bury me. He wanted me to bury him. And fortunately or unfortunately, that's the way it came out. My father was 89 years old. He was a veteran of the Korean War. He achieved the rank of sergeant. He was working in a trucking company. And apparently in Korea, they had an equivalent of the Red Ball Express. His job not only was to fix the trucks and to make everything ready for the other soldiers going up to the front, but he would also go up to the front with supplies and riding either shotgun or driving the truck. So you can see why my dad is my hero. As you can see by my cap, I followed in his footsteps and given part of my life to the military. Again, my dad was my hero, and I'm an only child, so there's no brother or sister or shoulder that I can lean on and tell exactly how I feel. This particular project means the world to me because not only did my father catch COVID-19 and the pneumonia that accompanied it, but I caught it also. Another backstory to that is I am a survivor of a heart and kidney transplant. And I caught it right just before everything really hit hard. I was in the hospital for 12 days. And the whole time I was thinking about my dad and how he would be talking to me while I was in the hospital bed recovering. He's a great source of inspiration for me. He left behind at least, he left behind at least 6 grandchildren, no, 2 grandchildren, 6 great-grandchildren, and a lot of love, a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, people that miss him. The family still talks to me, calls me about him. And he is just as much a part of the family as any other time in his life. Oh, I meant to mention he was the oldest of 17. And the majority of his brothers and sisters are still alive. And they constantly tell me stories about my dad that I didn't even know about. So no matter what I do, no matter where I go, no matter how long I live, my father was, is, and has always been the man that I looked up to. And I miss him terribly. Please be aware that COVID-19 is no joke. It takes away the ones we love. It takes away the people that we've depended on for years. It's not fair, and it knows no political party. It knows no race. It knows no creed, nor religion. It gets everybody. So please do what you can to avoid being a victim, one way or the other, of this disease. And tell all of your relatives, please do what must be done. I want to thank you for this time, Ruth and Muhammad. It's very therapeutic for me, and this story has to be told, no matter who has to hear it.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Michael. Thank you so
You're welcome.
much.
And Mohammed, I will turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Ruth. So the next item on the agenda is a short talk by our own Kim Christ. Kim is one of the hardest working activists that I know in our area. She's a leader. She's a former school teacher for CCISD and taught 2nd and 3rd grade. She later became an educational consultant. Kim Christ graduated from the University of Texas in Austin. The Christ family is very active in the mental health arena and founded the Christ Cemeterian Center to help children and families in crisis in the Houston area. Kim still devotes her time and efforts helping with the mental crisis our community deals with, as well as supporting veterans and veteran causes in the greater Houston area. So please join me in welcoming Kim. Thank you. Kim?
Yes, can you hear me? Hi, everybody. I am honored to call Muhammad and Ruth my friends, and I am very lucky to have met them that they live in my community. Not many people have the courage, the heart, and the drive to see a vision all the way through to completion. Hard work and dedication that they have. So I really look up to you guys to make this happen. And, when Muhammad first and Ruth told me about this project, I couldn't help but be 100% in behind them. We were all going through this pandemic, and you feel kind of lost and alone. And there's no other way to turn this grief into something productive until Muhammad came to me with this idea one day. And it's been a great outlet for me to turn the frustration and the pain and all that to something good and positive for people. So I personally, dealing with some, loss of people with COVID and a daughter that went through 5 months of some long haul issues. So I know a lot of us are very thankful to have this avenue. And we've partnered as the head of BATM, we have partnered with the COVID Wall of Memories and done a walkathon to raise money for the COVID Wall of Memories at the Exploration Green in the Clear Lake area. We've dedicated a bench there. So if any of you are ever out walking, look for a bench honoring those who've lost their lives, also at Exploration Green. And some of the other memories I've had with Muhammad and Ruth working with them is the National Memorial Day for COVID-19 victims on January 19th across the country. We met outside and lit candles and let families come and speak and share stories of people they have lost. Very therapeutic to some people couldn't get up, and it was so fresh, the pain, they couldn't get up and speak, but there were many that did. So it's through these COVID Wall of Memories that let families know that people do care, and we do care about loss and the suffering, and that we can come together. So I just want you to know you have my full support and gratitude, and I am honored to call you a friend, both of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support from day one. And I know Ruth and I can count on your support and partnership with a lot of activities going forward in 2022.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next in line is our own County Commissioner, Adrian Garcia, Harris County Precinct 2 Commissioner. Adrian was born and raised in the north side of Precinct 2, which we live in. Ruth and I live in Precinct 2. His 35-year career in public service began as a Houston police officer. In 1992, he was appointed by Mayor Lee Brown as director of the mayor's anti-gang office, and in 2003 was elected to Houston City Council. In 2008, he was elected as the Harris County Sheriff, the largest sheriff's office in Texas and the third largest in the United States. On November 6, 2018, he was elected Harris County Commissioner for Precinct 2, which serves more than 1.1 million people. Commissioner Garcia is committed to working every day to make Precinct 2 and all of Harris County a place where everyone who wants a job can get a job, where everyone can afford to rent or own a home, and where our kids and seniors can walk to church, park, school, Islamic centers without fear of crime. So please join me in welcoming our own Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, Mohammed, and Happy New Year to everyone. And thank you for being here to celebrate, first and foremost, the lives of the family members like those that the stories we have just heard of, but also to help to celebrate Ruth and Mohammed for having the vision of thinking about, obviously, if you know Mohammed and you know Ruth, you know they're always thinking about everybody else but themselves. And here they had an immense vision to memorialize the lives that were taken. And as it was said earlier, the lives that were stolen by this horrible pandemic that we know as COVID-19. And so I wanted to contribute to the occasion. I know it's heavy on the hearts for those who have lost a loved one, but I too lost my father to a disease. I lost him to cancer after he first got to see me get elected to Houston City Council. And I have always told people the lesson that he gave me. And when he and I were talking in his last days, and he knew how much it was affecting me, he said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be here with you. And if you want to make sure that I am, then tell stories about me to those that you meet. So for those of you that have known me for a while, and if you've ever heard my laugh, that's my dad's laugh. He always referred to it as the Garcia laugh. But the other thing too is that if you ever knew my dad, you'd be surprised he's my dad, because he was bald at an early age. I still have mine. So this is obviously heavy on the hearts of so many. But the fact that Muhammad and Ruth thought about a meaningful and an impactful way to not just reach our communities and our neighborhoods here in Houston, Harris County, but beyond, all across the world, ways for people to learn about our loved ones here from Houston, from Harris County. And so I'm so grateful to both of you and to the board, and for all of those who have supported this incredible endeavor, that I too, as Councilmember Plummer did, I too want to present a proclamation. The difference is that this is my proclamation. Chara is on this call as well. Chara Bowie with my office, and she'll be putting up the proclamation so that you can follow along with me. And it reads as such: whereas on January the 4th, 2021, Ruth and Muhammad Nasrullah launched a nonprofit organization named COVID-19 Wall of Memories, which maintains a website dedicated to honoring, remembering, and memorializing victims of COVID-19 in the United States. Its mission is to memorialize and amplify the lives of COVID-19 victims while serving as a source of information about the disease, the epidemic, and the impact on our country. And whereas the heart of this website is a virtual scrolling memorial wall containing the victims' pictures and names. Clicking on each photo takes you to their stories, helping people understand the full scope of COVID-19. To this date, the website has honored almost 10,000 people of our fellow Americans on the Wall of Memories. And whereas this memorial website continues to tell the story of COVID-19 in America, one story at a time, they have honored Americans from all states and territories of all ages, ethnicities, religions, and nationalities on this wall. And whereas in February 2021, they posted their first ever child story, Elizabeth English, whose mother posted an eloquent memorial of her daughter, which resulted in many heartfelt messages of condolence. Then there was Joseph and Kitty Sassoon, who died a day apart of COVID-19 after long, fascinating lives filled with the dangers of war, the plight of being refugees, success, and a growing family once they reached the United States. And whereas Ruth and Muhammad have also done work to serve the community, holding vaccination drives this year, online memorial programs, delivering care packages to ICU nurses locally during the most recent surge, holding Read Their Names events, as well as sending text banks to encourage people to get vaccinated. Now, therefore, I call on all residents of Precinct 2 to join in celebrating the first anniversary of COVID-19 Wall of Memories. By the power invested in me by Harris County and the state of Texas, I hereby recognize this 4th day of January as the Wall of Memories Day, as presented by me, your proud County Commissioner of Precinct 2, proud because of the hearts of the people that live in Precinct 2, like the two hearts of Muhammad and Ruth. And thank you again, everyone, for your support of the endeavor from when Muhammad reached out to me and told me what he was thinking. And I just said, it's a great idea. Oh my God, we do need to recognize the lives and make sure that we communicate how this disease can be kept at bay if we follow the protocols, take the vaccines and educate others. And so do that through telling the lives of those that are on the Wall of Memories. And that is how we're going to have a brighter future outside of this pandemic, putting it behind us. But again, Ruth and Muhammad, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're so fortunate to call you residents of Precinct 2.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Appreciate it.
Your proclamation, your attendance, and the absolute wonderful support that we get from your office. You have a wonderful staff that has been helping us in not just this project, but a lot of other projects. So I want to, on behalf of our organization, I want to thank you, thank Chera and Esther, and all those folks that are working for you as an awesome team. So thank you very much. All right. So next on the agenda is one of my old friends and co-worker, Don Desfor, all the way from California. Don, he's a long-time aerospace engineer. He's a former program manager at Honeywell Aerospace. Don and I worked on several NASA projects, building hardware for the International Space Station. Don volunteers for the Southern California Railway Museum and the Aquarium of the Pacific, and he just I've known him for many years. So Don, please present to our audience your experience with our organization and your support for our organizations. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Muhammad. I think the picture you painted is that I can't make up my mind what I want to do. So, and I guess when Muhammad first talked to me about the COVID-19 Wall of Memories, the immediate thoughts that came to my mind is that it's understandable and actually genuinely expected that celebrities, athletes, high-profile public figures receive widespread media coverage, extensive heartfelt tributes, extravagant ceremonies upon their passings. And what it made me think of is that the grief and the impact and the loss to the family and friends is no less just because somebody's not famous. And so that aspect of the wall really touched me in the sense that, as has been said previously, there's no boundaries, or this transcends all aspects of people and life. And of course, the immediate connection I thought of was to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, which I found very inspirational and touching, especially when you saw the impact that it had to relatives, as they often etched the using tracing paper, etched the names on tracing paper. And while I don't think there's going to be any therapeutic value in tracing your computer screen on the COVID wall, I think the whole organization, I hate to even just say Mohammed and Ruth because there's so many people involved, but certainly they spearheaded it. So they have taken this the next step, which is to provide a glimpse of the person's life and give a little bit of view of what the impressions that life made on others. That personalization, humanization of someone who meant a great deal to their family and friends, is both heartwarming and heart-wrenching. And so the fact that they do that, and it's important also from the standpoint of it gets beyond just like I said, when this humanizes the person, it takes you beyond a bunch of statistics and what is so often reported, and where people just become numbers. And so again, just because somebody's not famous doesn't lessen the impact to the family, doesn't lessen the heartbreak of losing a loved one. And so just my final thought is that seeing all of the faces and all of the thumbnails just reminds everyone, hopefully it reminds everyone, it certainly reminds me to cherish life and not take your loved ones for granted. And again, as I close, I just wanted to thank all of the volunteers and everyone that's working on the website. Hopefully others will join in and help. And if you're lazy like me, at least make a donation. Thank you.
Hey, Don, thank you so much for your continuous support. You've been there since day one. I mean, I remember talking to you in person, not in person, but on a Zoom call about this thing. And you've been a supporter since then. And we've talked about it several times. And I really appreciate all your support and agreeing to attend this event and talking about your experience. So thank you.
Well, again, the proof of your success is in the heartfelt tributes we've heard. Very touching stories. You've got thousands of touching stories on the website, and it's just wonderful. And it means so much, as you can tell from talking to the various families, how much that means to the families. And yeah. And thank you, Michael, and to your father for your service also.
Okay, thanks a lot, Don. All right, so next on the agenda is one of our most hardest working volunteers, Rosie Flanagan. Rosie has been with us from even before we launched, back in, I think, December of 2019 or 2020.
2020.
That, she's been helping us. So Ruth is going to introduce Rosie for her talk. Go ahead, Ruth.
The way in which I would introduce Rosie is by agreeing that you are one of the most hardest working people that I have ever had the pleasure of working with. I know that you have a lot of political involvement, and so just please tell us what your experience has been working with COVID-19 Wall of Memories.
Well, I want to say
I am honored to be part of this project and part of the organization. As Mohammed mentioned, Ruth and he approached me in December of 2020 and said, you know, we've got this thing going and we're going to need some folks to do data entry, kind of behind the scenes stuff. And they asked me if I would help. And I've worked with both of them before, primarily on voter registration. And I was very intrigued by this idea. And so, of course, I said yes. It's, as a couple of people have said, it's telling about the lives of COVID victims one story at a time. They're heartwarming and they're heartbreaking. We've heard those words before. And every story is heartbreaking in its own way. You've got young people, 20-year-olds, even younger, who died before they really had a chance to have a life. You have people who just retired, were ready to go into those years, and they died of COVID. You have a mother and father who died the same day, within days of each other, whether they're in their 50s, as I've read, their 30s, or their 80s. Their families are still dealing with the death of both parents. And it's heart-wrenching. But to know that these stories are out there and that people can look at them, and as Don said, it's not statistics, it's the people's story. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I continue to do it. And that's why I keep working hard at it, because I think it is such a noble, if that's not too strong a word, I think it's such a noble thing to do, to honor the people who have died and to help their families feel the support from everyone. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Rosie. We
you.
really
Thank you,
appreciate all
Rosie.
you
Thank
do.
you so much. Yeah, you've been a huge mentor to a lot of other volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely. And next, we're going to hear from, we have just two more people we're going to hear from, and they're both very important. And one of them is the young lady I mentioned who was an intern for us last summer, and she helped to put together a text bank. And she's also one of our writers. And Yesenia, if you can, there we go. Now I can see you. And just tell us a little bit about what it's been like working with COVID-19 Wall of Memories.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yesenia. I'm a journalism student at the University of Maryland. And that's actually how I heard about this website and how I got involved in it. So I started writing for the COVID-19 Observer, which is the news portion of the website, last May. And then I started working as an intern over the summer. And it's just been a really great opportunity to be able to write about how COVID has affected various people. I've written articles about how it's affected graduating seniors last year. I recently wrote an article about how teachers have adjusted to being back in person for the first time since the pandemic this past semester. And talking to all these different people about how they've been affected by COVID has been really eye-opening for me. And it has gotten me thinking about the pandemic in a completely new way. And I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity, to have been writing for The Observer for a couple months now. And like Ruth mentioned, I also organized a text banking event last summer for the National Vaccine Month of Action, which was a presidential organized month of action. And I did this through Made to Save, which Ruth mentioned earlier also is a organization that works towards vaccine equity. And working with Made to Save was really a great opportunity. They provided a lot of resources. I was able to attend text banking training to be able to host this event, and it ended up being really successful. I had never done something like this before, but I wanted to get involved because I knew how important it was to get people vaccinated. And we ended up texting over 300 people during our online text banking event. And we reached people all across the country, and it was a really rewarding experience. And I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hey, Ruth, before you go to the next item, I just want to quickly recognize our former county clerk, Diane Troutman, is attending this meeting, as well as the current county clerk, Harris County Clerk, Tanisha Hertzbeth, is there too. And both of them have been supporters from when the project started. So on behalf of the COVID-19 Wall of Memories organization, I want to thank Diane and Tanisha both for their support to this project. So thank you, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Ruth.
Yes,
next
and we
you
have
want
one,
to-
yes,
yeah, go
one
ahead.
final speaker, and she is a business owner and also the heart and soul of the Fifth Ward Islamic Center. Darla Hogan King, if you could please, there you are. And we'd like to hear, Walaikum salam. So we'd like to hear just a few words from you.
So it was presented to our community by Brother Muhammad and Sister Ruth and Brother Sam and the National Guard to help the community of Fifth Ward get vaccinated. Off the muscle, I let them know I'm not interested in getting vaccinated. And they were like, okay, but you're gonna help. I really, truly believe that it was a blessing to the community. Fifth Ward is a very underserved community, and they made it possible for a lot of people to get the vaccine, as well as donating. Brother Muhammad, maybe you can remember, do you know how many pieces of chicken? I think it was like crazy, like 300 or 400 pieces of chicken that we cooked and fed the community as well. So they're feeding the community mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I would like to thank the Wall for allowing Fifth Ward Islamic Center for Human Development to be a part of that program. And we greatly appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Sister Darla. Thank you very much. And you know, on behalf of COVID-19 Wall of Memories, I want to thank you and Imam Jihad Muhammad and your whole team for those vaccination events. You guys provided a lot of volunteers that helped us make sure that we took care of all those folks. And it was really so different because we were all arranged to have drive-in vaccinations, but 90% of the people who came to that vaccination event just walked in, and that was a big lessons learned for us. So the next time we went there, we knew what to do, what to expect, and that was, yeah, you guys did a good job of getting the word out and bringing the people in. So thank you so much.
I would like to mention that was the first COVID vaccine drive in Fifth Ward that the COVID-19 Wall of Memories had put on. That was the first one ever in Fifth Ward. So it was monumental what y'all brought to the table for the community, and we greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
yes, I just want to mention one thing, which is that of all the work that we've talked about doing and everything that's on the website, it's going to be around forever, and literally forever, because the Library of Congress has chosen COVID-19 Wall of Memories website to be part of its coronavirus web archive. So as long as there's a Library of Congress and there's an internet, people will be able to go, starting next May, people will be able to go and see what the website looked like. So everyone who supported us, you've supported something that's really, truly, truly permanent. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for being here this evening. Thank you for bearing with us as we went a little bit late. Thank you all. And let's hope that this whole thing becomes unnecessary very soon. Let's hope that we get rid of COVID very soon.
Yeah.
Mohammed?
Thank you. And thank you on behalf of the whole team of COVID-19 Wall of Memories. This whole program was recorded, and we will share it on social media. So if you know of somebody who needed to be here but could not, Ruth will post it on social media. So once again, thank you so much.